Alright everybody, so I'm sitting down with Flossy Missiles here to kind of get a recap of what it was actually like versus what he thought it was going to be, because I know I have my 2 cents, and I know some of the stuff I said in the beginning I still think is true, like stay away from my wife, but I wanted to get his take on it. So let's start with that, you know, because we started and we had the bet, and then everybody's like, oh, what do you think? I said, I just want to stay away from my wife because I already know she's a nut. And then I even told him, I said, you don't really have to worry about me, dude. I'm going to go out there and try to race, but she is a whole nother animal, next level. And what did you think about, you know, when I told you that, did you think I was actually like...
I mean, I didn't know how serious you were. When she hit me, I finally realized how serious she was. But no, it was a great time out there. It's kind of interesting the first couple times hitting a car, like, oh, I'm bumping into someone.
That was what, it was weird too.
Yeah.
And so we had a warm-up. So it's like just a warm-up to go out there to pack the track, just do a couple laps just to make sure everything runs before they throw you in the heat. So the first thing my wife does is she went out there on the thing, you're not even racing, and she hit a car that was in front of her. And she goes, yeah, I just wanted to see what it felt like just to get,
funny.
and I'm like, that never crossed my mind. When I was out there, I was like, I don't want to hit anybody, I want to make sure my car's good. The first thing she did was hit somebody else just to get that out of the way.
It's so funny, yeah. The feeling of hitting another car just like that, or being hit, is like the weirdest thing. You're like, should I stop? You're like, no, I'm not supposed to, I'm racing, you know?
Yeah, and well, the other thing that too is, when you drive a car, you don't want to hit anybody. You're like, I got insurance, my car's gonna get screwed up, and then you get out there, and it's weird, like the gap is closing, and then it's like, kunk, oh, then you hear the sound, it crunches. I mean, it's loud. I know there's a shot with my wife, when that guy hit her and she went over the berm or whatever.
Oh yeah.
From the stands, with the guy's cell phone, you can hear
oh,
the
really?
cars. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it was that. I mean, it was something else, man. And then, how about the drive home afterward? Because then, when you're driving now, isn't it weird? Because before, in my lane, if somebody would creep like 2 feet, I'm like, oh my god, the guy's close. Now I'm like, oh,
hold
dude,
your lane.
Yeah. I was like, he's got like 4 feet. We're good, dude. You're not even close to my paint.
That's funny. No, yeah, I get what you're saying there. I'm on the way home feeling that same way. But I thought it was really interesting. Turn one was like so slick. Like just throughout the night trying to dial it in, and I felt like every time I went out there, it felt so different. Like the amount of slip that turn one had, that U-turn.
Yeah.
And because like if you go inside, you know you're gonna get plowed, but if you go outside, someone's gonna plow you and pass you.
Yeah.
So it's like there was no winning there. So like, I don't know. I felt like that corner is probably the most dangerous corner, like where most bumping and that kind of thing happened.
The whole thing, because you carry the most speed down the front straight, and then you make that left-hand turn. It's kind of a sweeper, and it goes into like a pin hair. Mm-hmm. But for me, I wasn't worried about the corner because it goes pin hair, but then there's a pole with like tires and then more K-rail. So every time I went, I didn't want to go wide or have somebody come in and then hit me and hit the K-rail, because I watched a video previously of that one guy, and that's exactly what happened. He went wide, and the guy came in and hit him, and he steered right into the K-rail.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was sweating doing that. So I was trying to come in close, because I figure at least if they kind of bump me out, but if you come in wide and somebody carries their speed.
That's true.
The thing that I realized too is it's all green flag racing. So if somebody in front of you is slow, you need to move them. Like you can't wait for it, because I was kind of waiting when you get in a lap traffic or you're going. If the person in front of you is slow,
bump them.
You need to bump them and move them and let them know that you're there, or push them out of the way, because that's what people behind you do to you. And it's funny because I always try to race clean. Like I'm not really that guy that's that aggressive.
I feel you.
But you get out there and you're like, I either do this or they're gonna do it to me. And that's the way. Toward the end of the race, that's how I felt. I was like, I have to be that guy, because otherwise that guy's behind me and he's gonna make sure that I'm out of his way.
Yeah.
Or I gotta move the dude that's in front of me.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught any of my heat race. I think maybe your friend was filming it, but on the heat race, man, I was moving a lot of people out of the way, and it worked out good. And I was in second for a while, but on that it was on the final lap, that turn number 1, dude. I like initiated the slide to start going into the turn, and I lost it and went way outside and got passed by 2 people. I was like, no. But like that whole race, I kind of felt like I was, you know, trying to move people around, but not like super aggressively type of thing. Just working my way through the track.
They pulled me onto the track because I was in the second heat. So I got to see you, but like all I could see was half the track. So everybody go this way, and then they'd come back in different orders.
Yeah. And
then at one point I saw that you did work your way like way up there, and I was like, oh man, he's gonna be fast. And then I have no experience. I had a race, so now I'm sitting there waiting like, oh crap. And then in my race, I was supposed to start in the back. So when they drew those little numbers, so what they do is they wheel this little thing around. It spits out these little balls. I probably should have captured that when we were up there. And they give you a number. It's like bingo. Whatever the number is where they start you in your heat race. And mine happened to be like the highest number there was. And then my wife's worked out good. She was 4th. So we ended up racing in the same heat, and Josh was in a separate heat race.
Yeah.
So when it came time to start, you have a one-way radio. They talk to you and tell you where to start. So I was hanging back because I knew I'm the last guy there, which I was more than fine with. Like, start everybody off, they can crunch, and I'll just sit in the back. Well, nobody moved up, and they're waiting, and the guy was flagging me and pointing at me, and I knew that that wasn't my spot, but I had done an interview earlier in the day, and the guy knew that that was my wife's spot. So I think instead of putting her to the back, because then she'd be like, what the hell, they just moved everybody else and stuffed me up front, and then said that I wanted to be there, and the guy knew that that was the last spot. I did not want to start next to her, because I'm like,
so funny.
But the problem is she has disregard for her car.
I know.
Or for pretty much her safety, or the people around her. And I was like,
so
you're going to crunch both of our cars. Like, I put both these together. At least if one of them is running, it's kind of good. But if you're taking me out, you're taking all of
both of us.
Yeah. And then I got to fix both cars in the, well, kind of fix them. Apparently, I can't put a wheel on the car to save my life.
Oh, that was comedy, dude. The wheel thing was so funny. And it's funny because all my friends and my family were texting me, dude, Dane's wife's wheel fell off again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. It's like before I'd even see the car come back and I already knew the wheel came off, and that was, yeah.
Yeah, I caught a lot of
flack for that
and
one.
then I think they're probably just going to call me lug nut. Like,
Yeah.
I might as well. I even contemplated, like, I might just put a giant styrofoam lug nut and have it all airbrushed to look like a giant lug nut and just put that on top of the car and just own it. Because I don't think it's going to go away.
Throw some cardboard wheels out.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go away.
What I thought was funny is there's a dude that we were racing with. I think he was in like a Toyota Tercel or something, but he had a thing of bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a thing of bananas, and he was chucking bananas out the window.
Did he actually throw them?
I think he did. Yeah, I saw a banana. I think I saw a banana out there on the course, and I was like, that is so funny. Like, for someone to Mario Kart this race, I don't know. If someone would have spun out with one of those bananas, that would have been the best.
I mean, honestly, if you had a whole team of people and you could really cover the event properly, there was so much that goes on.
There's so much funny little things, you know?
Yeah, and there's so much detail. There's so much stuff the audience doesn't get to see, and hopefully we can capture some of that stuff maybe in the later coming events. Maybe we'll get more people together and put GoPros on different cars so we can really do a good episode. But we're just shoestring budget, man. We don't, it's my friends getting their cell phone videos. I have a camera. I had my neighbor come out, and he brought his gear, and then he had his girlfriend. So I was trying to capture as much as I could, but there's so many cars and there's so much stuff going on that you really just have to go to the event and try to take it all in as a spectator. I mean, if you could, spend the $25 and get a pit pass, because then you can really walk over there and see how the real drama goes down, and you can see cars like mine that come in missing tires, and then everybody making fun of me while I'm trying to jack it up and put everything on there. So, I mean, all in all, it was a good time. It was definitely a good experience. We'll probably be trying to chase some points.
Yep.
We won't be betting next season, so hopefully we can actually kind of be more of a team.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit easier. So if I see you and I can help, like if my car's taking a dump and I can block somebody, because that's actually what, she didn't do it intentionally. She takes credit saying that she did. But I watched her car crap out, and then, yeah, she blocked everybody coming, and I went around.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I looked like a hero, and it looked like she would save the day, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
And we got enough cars. Maybe we have that guy from down the street, Chad or Steven.
Yeah, if we could do a little team.
Funny story about that dude is, so we come in after the first heat because he was in the same heat as me. And he walks up to me, he's like, dude, you ripped a huge hole in my door. He's like, you can see light all the way through my door. And sure enough, I go over to his car, and on his driver's side door, it's just cut going all the way through. I go to my car, I look at the front bumper, and there's a piece of his trim sticking out of my front bumper. Like, I snagged a piece of his trim, and it was still on my car. Yeah. I was like, that is so funny.
Maybe we'll have to cap the ends of the bumpers or whatever next
Something,
season.
yeah.
Because those edges, like, you can see.
They're brutal. No, yeah, they're definitely brutal.
We'll do a little better job. Because like I said, I don't want a can opener hurt nobody or nothing.
No, I don't want to.
And this is just sheet steel. It wasn't like 120 wall or nothing. I didn't put like it looks like a big bumper, but it was just a piece of a pallet rack actually that a friend of mine dropped off because it was all bent up. So I knew there wasn't really any structure there.
Yeah, it's actually super light too.
Yeah.
It like weighs nothing.
Yeah, so we'll cut those off and weld up some new ones, but maybe cap the ends so they don't snag on people's sheet metal and can open cars anymore. That's
so
not very safe. So, all in all, we had a good time. You honored the bet. Thank you very much for coming out and being a part of my dumb idea. This is pretty much my idea. I hit him up. I didn't really know him all that well before we got this whole thing started, but now that I do, I've got a friend and hopefully a teammate instead of betting, so we can actually work together up at the front or at the back or wherever the hell we end up next season. But I think it'll be a good time, and we'll definitely be doing some more racing. And then on a side note, since I drug you into this whole mess and got you all started, if there's an event or some idea, you come up with something that is low buck, low budget, similar to this, and you want to challenge me and do the whole thing,
Cool.
I'm game to put together some turd, whatever it is, and go out and have some fun. As
Right
long as it's similar low budget stuff. Like if you want to go buy Ferraris and race on that, but if it's whatever it is, if there's, I don't know, I can't even think of anything at this point because I'm too tired and beat up from racing these. But we'll just put that out there because this was, like I said, this was pretty much my dumb idea, and he was cool enough to jump on board and finish that car. And how many days was it?
It was gonna be like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah. Start to finish.
Wasn't too bad.
You got to add some stuff to them there.
I know, definitely.
Yeah, and fix some stuff. So that is it. If you guys like this, go to Josh's channel. What is your channel?
Flossy Missiles on YouTube.
Flossy Missiles on YouTube. If you're watching this, you're already here. So at least subscribe to the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, I'm out.